Okay guys, I have a little scenario here. Wondering what to have for lunch, and I decided I'd make a pulled pork taco. But I got this pulled pork from the in-laws a few days back they had left over. I know what you're thinking. In-laws. Must be poison. It's not poison, no. I checked it out. I had the wife try it before I even would taste it. She's still walking around and breathing. I'm not so sure how I feel about that, but she's alive, so the pork is fine. But I have another problem, and I'll show you. All right, now check this out. No frickin' tortillas. How the hell can you make a taco without any tortillas? Well, I'm going to take you on a journey because I can rectify this. I'm going to make some tortillas. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do, get out the old KitchenAid stand mixer. It's good stuff. I'm going to put in 2 cups of flour. All-purpose flour is fine. I've used bread flour in the past. I've even used corn flour. Now, it's a whole different deal. Okay? Let's just stick with the standard flour tortilla for now. Now, need some kind of fat in there. This time I'm going to put some diced up butter. And here's a scenario. People have said to use, I'm using butter. People said freeze the butter. But I have to disagree with that because the butter, they put in hot water to melt the butter down. Hot water makes gluten. You don't want gluten. Gluten bad. Bad gluten. So I'm going to put in this room temperature butter. I'm going to spool it up and make it, I'm going to spin it. And it'll make like a sandy type of flour. When I get that, I'll come back. But right now, that is going in there. Okay. I'm mixing that up. Got the paddle on there. I guess you call that, I don't know what you want to call it. It's the paddle. It's not the bread hook, it's the paddle. Gonna let that grind up for a little bit. Don't want to do it too long. Just to where it gets to that point where it's like all mixed together and becomes sandy, like sandy, grainy type mixture. Alright, now I got that stuff mixed up. It's kind of grainy looking. I didn't feel too many chunks in there, so it should be pretty good. Now I'm going to add some baking powder. 2 teaspoons. And generally, most people will put 1 teaspoon per cup of flour, which sounds good to me. All right, I got the baking powder in there. I'm going to add some salt. About 1.5 teaspoons. Okay. Just a hair more than a teaspoon, so that's all you need to put in there. Don't put much more than that because you will begin to taste it. So, and that goes in there. Okay, now other than water, that's everything that needs to go in there. But I want to kind of move this around, stir it up a little bit with you can use a fork, a whisk. Just get that crap mixed up a little bit. You don't want any areas where the salt didn't mix quite good or like that. That way there, you don't have any areas that have more concentrated crap than the rest of it. The next thing is water. how much water to put in there. Okay, water. The essence of life. A lot of people get concerned. How much water to put in? Well, there are some factors. Okay? Factor number 1. How much flour you put in there. Factor number 2. What's the conditions out? Is it humid? Is it dry? But I will give you a good starting point. 45 to 50% liquid. Because if you add oil, butter will turn into liquid. That also counts. So you need to adjust your water to the amount of oil or butter in this case, so you would be a little less. So I would start at the low end, 45%, and that's on this 2-cup deal. That'd be 9/10 of a cup. So that's where we're going to start out, and we'll play it from there. We're going to add the water. We're going to put the dough hook on. When I put this dough hook on, I want to show you something. KitchenAid's been around a long time, okay? And it's sad to see them starting to cheap up their equipment, because if you look at the new KitchenAid equipment, right here's a spring, okay? And I don't know why they decided to get rid of that spring right there. Nowadays, you put them on, and in your blade or your dough hook or your whatever you got in there is going up and down. That's what happens. Makes all kinds of crappy noise. So, KitchenAid, if you ever come back and if you ever happen to see this video, put this fucker back on there. You guys are dipshits for taking that off. Who wants to hear a bunch of clanking? Fix it. Make it right, you some bitches. Alright. I'm going to put some water in here. I'll let you see me pour the water in. It's so cool. Ready? Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, I'm going to put the dough hook on, and we'll see how we're looking. Okay, the dough is being spun up. And here's the thing. You just want to get this dough to where it's together. You don't want to spin it any more longer than you have to. Because remember, you don't want gluten. Gluten will make your tortillas chewy. You don't want that, okay? And I'll show you how I test my dough for if it's a good consistency or not. But remember, I also said no hot water. Use cool water. That also helps keep the gluten away. Alright, my dough's pretty much done. I did have to add about 3 extra tablespoons of flour. She seemed a little damp to me. I'll get this off and okay, let me get that off. Alright, here's my dough ball. On the verge of what's called sticky dough. Why do they call it sticky dough? It's sticky. It should feel tacky to your hands, but it really shouldn't stick to your hands. I didn't put any oil on this or anything to stop. But here's another way to check. Put your finger in there. Like that. If that stays in there like that, you're pretty good. As long as it doesn't give you a lot of resistance, it feels like yeah, it feels like one of those, So that's not bad. Now here's the deal. I'm going to be cutting this up, weighing them out, okay? I like to get my tortillas about the same. I see people pinching it off and peeling it off, and I like to have mine more concise than that. So I'm going to cut these off, weigh them at about 45 grams. Give or minus a couple grams, okay? And I'll show you what that process right in a second here. Okay, first dough ball is going to be made. You can look here, 45 grams, pretty much right on the button. That's how I like them. Oh, look. And we'll make a dough ball. Now, dough balls, I'm gonna show you something here. And when you start them, you want to make sure there's no real creases in them. And then, I don't think I can hold the camera and do it, but I'll show you in a second here. Alright, roll them in your hand vigorously. That thing's about the size of a golf ball. Now I'm going to put it in this bag here, and I lube that bag up. Another dough ball I'm going to make. And I'm going to do all these dough balls until that's gone, and I'm going to put them in there. And I'll get back with you when I got them all done. Okay, I got all my dough balls made. They're in a plastic bag. All except for that was a little scrawny bastard left over. They're going in the bag too, and I'll explain that to you when we go to cook these. Get it in there. I'm going to zip these down, and this is crucial. Try mess around and skip this step. These sit at least 15 minutes, okay? I let mine sit for about half hour to 45. This lets the dough relax, gets all a little more pliable. And I've found too that if you don't do this step, you won't get the little air bubbles that you do when you cook them, and I'll show that to you too. But don't skip this. Let it sit. A fun fact for you. I believe that all my days working in the pizza industry, doing stuff at home, I will bet you I made over 1 million dough balls in my life. All different sizes. Okay, half hour's up. And I am heating up my griddle. Got a little flame going down there, making the gas man money. Now here's the thing. I've seen a lot of these videos making these damn things. And the majority of them says medium to high heat. Well, I don't know if my oven is a magic oven or whatever. I go put that on at 8. Too frickin' hot to cook them. They burn, okay? So I found out about 4 to 5 is a pretty good temperature. And I okay with it there. So you guys will have to play with the heat. I would start lower than higher, though, versus burning them. Now, this thing here, I bought this on the Amazon. Tortilla press, right? 8 inches. Ain't frickin' 8 inches. That's more like 7.5, okay? 7 1/4. Which is fine for me because tacos and whatnot, you know, they're about 6 inches round. So this works out well for it. But the problem is, don't press the dough out thin enough. okay? I have to hand mash the dough out after I press it. It's a good starting point, okay? It'll make it round, you know, and it's a lot better than what I used to have to do with a damn rolling pin. And but I don't know if most of them have this problem, but that's the problem with this. It just doesn't mash them out good, and I'll show you. I could rectify this. I have a Dough Pro out in the garage there that comes, manual Dough Pro comes straight down. I use it in the pizza shop. But I don't think the wife would want a 100-pound frickin' piece of equipment sitting on the counter. She'd probably not like that too well. And so I'll have to deal with this for now. I will look into something else a little bit later, but that's okay for now. I think this thing was like 15 to 18 bucks. Didn't cost a whole lot, but I think maybe if I could get something to put in here, like a silicone or something, cut it to fit, and maybe that would take up some of the gap, and maybe it would flatten it out a little better. I don't know, but I'll show you what's going on here. I got my dough balls here. They've been sitting, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Here, I've got a little, used to be old sour cream container, not the real big ones, but a smaller one. It's got some flour in it. I'm going to take and mash down the dough ball a little bit and put it in that flour. And then I'll put it on here, and what will happen is it'll keep that dough from sticking as much. But right now, pretty sure we should be pretty good on the heat on the griddle. And I'll show you what happens when I press it out. Okay, this is that little son of a bitch. I put it in there, floured it up, and you know how like people say, oh, like pancakes, first one never comes out right? Well, okay, this little sumbitch is going to be my sacrificial lamb, and we're going to have a test run on him. Got it? I want to show you something. I'm getting a damn shadow now. This is too damn thick. You want that to be like almost see-through. Okay? Now, yeah, this is a small one, but I'm going to have to stretch this out by hand. I'll palm it out, just kind of push it to the side, start from the middle, and get it opaque. I'll show you here. Okay, now just remember, this is a little one, so I popped a hole in it here and muffed it up a little bit here. But I don't know if you could tell. Let me tilt this up. But can you see how you can almost see through that son of a bitch? That's how thin you want them. You know? You want them really frickin' thin. And this just doesn't get it. You know? Just doesn't get it. So you gotta kind of push it out by hand. But I'm gonna put this on the griddle. And put it on the griddle, see what we got. Okay, she's cooking. And I don't know if you could see. Right there, you're getting a little air bubble. Those air bubbles are good. That means she's cooking. I won't leave it on there that long before I flip it. I'll take a look at it. I'll flip it now just for the heck of it. Oh, I had a little catastrophe trying to do this. Yeah, I could have let that cook a little longer, but okay, this is my real first one. The real one. Just waiting for the little air bubbles to creep up. And once when that happens, we'll flip her over. will be ready. They don't have to be perfectly round, but, rounder the better. I'm starting to see a few little air bubbles pop up over here. So we'll just let her cook and flip her over. I'll show you the deal when she's done. Alright, she's done. I'm going to take her off. Check the bottom. Flip her over real quick. Looks decent. Put her over in our hickey. Let her sit. Now I gotta get busy. I'm gonna finish these off and I'll show you the rest of them when I'm done. Well, this is how you turn a 15-minute lunch into over an hour and a half. Tortillas, baby. And now it's time for my frickin' pulled pork taco that I was supposed to have over an hour ago. Beautiful.